Thank you so much, and it's such an honor, Palak, to host this session with you. I know the audience has had a full day of technology, data, AI, cloud, everything under that conversation, so this is going to be something which is going to be such a refreshing change. Okay, so there's going to be a very refreshing change. It's a session people are looking forward to, and I think we're really delighted that you could join us today. Just to quickly introduce Palak, Palak Kohli, she's 21 years of age, extremely confident for her age. She was born in Punjab, started practicing at the age of 14 in an academy in Lucknow, and she's qualified for the Olympics multiple times and won lots of championships that I'm going to ask her to talk a lot more about. But Palak, let's start with you and your story, right? You, as we were talking earlier in the room, you were talking about how you came from a family where everybody was only focused on studies, right? So what inspired you to really think about sports as not just a profession, but really your ambition?
First of all, a very good evening to all the wonderful people over here in the room. And I'm looking very good forward for this conversation. And thank you so much, ma'am, for having me over here. And like you asked me about me stepping up into sport. Um, Actually, I'll take you back when I was born. Uh, I come from a joint family, and since the time I was born, I had a disability in my hand. Since then only, my one left arm was underborn, which people call as disability, but I call it as a super ability. Because due to this, I think I'm here in this place and talking to the wonderful people over here.
Are you the youngest in your house?
Yes.
Are you the youngest child?
Yes, I'm the one of the youngest in
So the youngest and the most spoiled, right, in some ways.
Yes, you can say. And actually, since I was born, I was always in the nutshell of my family because everybody used to pamper me, like you told, and everybody used to love me, handle with care, and make every demands fulfill and all. I never knew that I had a disability because I was just in the family. I got to know when I stepped outside my home, when I started going to playway, when I used to see, whenever I walking outside with my family or my friends anywhere, a small girl walking, but everybody used to stare at me. Like in India, there is some tradition, like people, they touch their ears and say, कि अरे भगवान ऐसा किसी के साथ ना करे. Like people having that thing कि अरे ये कैसे हुआ, that curiosity to ask. So I used to feel very different, and at times I used to feel very shy at the same, that, why they're stopping me and asking those weird questions. And like that, and as a child, you are not mature. You don't know how to react. And that's the most challenging part. And at that moment, like family also doesn't know how to, to tell you how to look forward and all. I was always fond of sports. All my siblings used to enjoy playing, and so was I. But whenever I used to try any sport, every time I was being told, it's better for me to sit aside and watch others playing, or to see them playing or be a referee. And if I'll play, I'm a girl, I may hurt myself. So I never thought that I can take the sport professionally ever in my life. And there were too many drawbacks and too many setbacks, but life went on, and I really knew what I had to plan for my future, and was just going and enjoying my school, and little up and downs of feeling that phase of a teenage and stepping into that. Uh, One day in 2016, I was coming out of a mall, and on the way I met a person. He asked me like, Palak, what has happened to your hand? I told it's by birth. I was very familiar with this question. Anybody who used to see me used to ask me that. Then he told me कि ऐसे ऐसे पैरा स्पोर्ट्स होता है, उसमें पैरा बैडमिंटन है, and you look very young, and if you will start up the sport and you can do wonders. आई वॉज सरप्राइज जहाँ पे इतने लोग टोक के खेलने को मना करते थे, आज कोई खुद से अप्रोच करके बोल रहा है कि यू कैन डू वंडर्स. So I had a very sarcastic smile to that, and he gave this contact to my parents. And after that, I was asked, I want to start. But अंदर से वो कभी confidence नहीं आया था कि I can face that, because I tried a lot of sports, but everywhere I was neglected. Everywhere I was told that it's not a cup of my tea. After that, after 8-9 months, I studied to an ICC school, and we had a new sport introduced in our school, that was handball. I was just standing in the queue, listening what the rules are about the sport. Meanwhile, one of my teachers, she called me aside and she told me, Ki, Palak, it's better for you to concentrate in studies. There are some quotas for people who are handicapped. This through you can get a good college, and further you can get a good job. And being a girl, you can secure your future. And people say कि लड़की है, और they say विकलांग है तो शादी कौन करेगा, sort of things that we have. And that stage I was in at the teenager stage, and stepping into an adolescence period, it's very tough to handle such situations. And I became very sad and depressed, and because it was not once, not twice, but series of episodes where I was told, like, it's not for me. And out of all those negative things, I got emotional, and I just thought, this one thought came to my mind. I met somebody who told me I could do wonders in badminton. Let me try that sport. And as a child, and we have that ego कि अगर हमने कर दिया तो वापस उस स्कूल में आएंगे and बताएंगे that what I did. And I went home. I told my parents कि ऐसे मुझे badminton start करना है. They took it lightly. Then I kept on insisting them. And my parents also lost the contact, the person we met. And then when I insisted them too many times, we scrolled social media, we searched para badminton, and then I got to know that the person I met outside the mall was Gaurav Khanna sir, and he's the head national coach for Indian para badminton team, and now the Dronacharya and Padam Shri awardee. And I didn't knew that at that moment, and it was something, as soon as we got to know that there is an academy in Lucknow and all athletes with different disabilities, they train together. My father and my parents, they made a plan, and very next week we stepped to Lucknow. And on the way, I was little nervous as well, because I don't know that I was not knowing whether I'm stepping into the same rejection sort of things, or will it be something different. But when I came to Lucknow and I entered the academy, I had goosebumps, because I could see athletes with different disabilities playing, training, few on wheelchair, few having polio, few similar like me. After that day in my life, I have never looked back, and I have never regretted ever that I have got a different role to play. And since then, I feel myself blessed today that I have got this role, and to inspire too many people and to give back to the society. And then in just in 2017, I started out with my journey of how to hold a racket over there in Lucknow. And in 2019, I played my first nationals, became the national champion for juniors, seniors, singles, senior women doubles, and also runner-up in mixed doubles. I was the only one to win 4 titles over there. And everything went on good. I qualified for Tokyo Paralympics, and I became the youngest in the world to qualify for 3 categories. And along with that, it's the journey just kept on going with a lot of roller coasters, a lot of up and downs, but I think that's part of life, and that's how, like, I would say, me stepping up into the sport professionally, it's a blessing, and I think it's the destiny who has planned that for me, because I was in Jalandhar and Gaurav sir is of Lucknow. And it was a coincidence that he had come to Jalandhar for a Northern Railway tournament, and I met him outside the mall. So I think it's the destiny who wanted me to play.
That's true destiny. And for somebody like him to just walk up to you and tell you to do this without seeing you play, or even look at what you can do. So I think God favors those who have it in them, right? So Palak, you go back to your school and tell them I did all this?
Yes. it's like, at that moment, we take things to, like to our heart, कि अब हमें prove करके दिखाना है. But when the time goes on and when we get mature, then we think, it was just a small thing. And I also see if at past would not have gone through so much of hurdles and, too much of rejections and people keeping me aside, I have got through all those phases of life. So I know, what goes through with other people with disability, and, I can raise my voice and, I can be a reason of change that the coming generation and the coming girls of a country and all across the world, they do not face the same thing. So I think it's a part of life, and I feel happy, and at those moments, it's tough to go through those challenges. But after you overcome, then I think then it talks about the maturity to look to those things.
It's a great message for especially for your generation, Palak, where people take every smallest rejection or anything wrong that goes in their life as something that they can't overcome, and you've overcome multiple issues, right? Just tell us about what does an average day at the academy looks like for you, right? So, getting up at 5 a.m. What do you really do at an average day there?
Like our routine is very, it's the entire day is very packed. And like we have a morning session, like starting with 7 in the morning. And there are different batches for different athletes. And we go and getting up by 5:30 in the morning and getting ready for the session, going and having on-court session till 9:30. We have a breakfast. We all athletes stay together from different states and city all together in Lucknow. And we have... we go for a physical session on court, and we finish our 2 sessions by like 11:30, and we have rest, and then 7:30 we have our on court session, and prior to that we have 4:30 we are back to gym and our rehab sessions, because that's very important for athletes to take care of the weaker part of the body to strengthen that. And so that's what our entire day is like.
So no entertainment, no malls, no movies.
No, we entertain a lot. We all athletes, we make fun of each other. We do acting of each other. We enjoy each and every festival together, whether it's Diwali, whether it's Holi or anything. So just like having entire fun during our sessions and being together. For me, it's just like a family, and it's my second home, yes.
So that's obviously a lot for somebody at your age, Palak, but how did the thought of, competing in the Olympics come? I know your mentor, Gaurav sir, must have played a big role, but how is that different from just training and preparing for championships versus really training for Olympics? And how did you go about doing that?
Like we talk about Olympics, it's a dream for every athlete. Whenever an athlete picks up the sport at a professional level, so हर किसी का सपना होता है to represent the country at the Olympics. And I have also become the first female athlete in para badminton to represent India 2 times consecutively in the Paralympics. And it's like, it's completely different from the other tournaments. That vibe is completely different, and to prepare for it is also completely very different. The training is, we always have a hard training session and a hard training routine, and it's because it's the Olympic that comes after 4 years. But for that, we cannot even compromise even a single day. So we have to manage, maintain each and everything, whether it's our diet, whether it's our physical health, whether it's our mental health, and each and everything we have to take care of. And as an athlete, the sports career is very uncertain. You never know what challenges you have to face through. And recently, I have also gone, I was also in 2022, I was diagnosed with a bone tumor that was stage 1 cancer. And I have defeated that, and I made a comeback in 2023. And I had lost my world rankings. 1.5 years I was out from the tournament circuit, where I didn't compete in any international tournaments. And in 2023, in April, I made a comeback in my very first tournament in Brazil, and I was back on the podium with 2 bronze medals. And the entire cycle again getting back and in the top 4 in the world ranking to make it to Paris. It's very hard. And but I think it's more of the mental strength along with the support that, it's there in the environment that you are training. Like in Lucknow, we have Gaurav Khanna Sir's Academy, which is the first professional academy dedicatedly for disabled athletes. And where he provides free of cost training to all the disabled athletes. And we are too many athletes stayed together. And after my surgery, I stayed in Lucknow. Everybody used to come to me, play with me, play cards in the free time so that I can, stay mentally fit. And so all those small things, they help you to, mentally fight through a battle such like that. And because at the end, it's all about being there at the tournament and giving your best. Nobody talks about the struggles. Nobody is there at your hard times. But I think it's you who has to pick yourself when you hit the rock. And it's you who has to rise. And then there are too many people to support.
So when you go for all these global tournaments, you're meeting people from different countries, right? Do you see any difference in para-athletes from other countries versus what you're seeing in India? The desire to win is, I'm assuming, the same, but are they better equipped? Are there better facilities? Is there greater pride for the nation there? Are there any differences that you see?
To be very honest, there are too much differences. Actually, a training for athletes with disability is more difficult because if I have to use prosthetic arm to make my things easier, and now I have also developed one more challenge in my leg as well. I need to customize my shoe size of both the legs. So it's like in India, we don't have much areas and not much corporates to help for infrastructures to be disabled friendly. And there are so many athletes who train with us are on wheelchair. And if an athlete on a wheelchair thinks of playing badminton, before that he has to invest 6 lakhs to get a sports
6
wheelchair.
lakhs.
Yeah, so they have to invest in a sports wheelchair when they don't know whether
Where they will make it or not also.
yeah, whether they can be there in the top in the worlds and they can participate, they can qualify for Olympics, for Paralympics or not. So, and whereas in other countries, everything is disabled friendly, they have more accessibilities and they have areas, rooms which are wider, washrooms which are wider, which can be used, accessible. People are more understanding. The entire social life is completely different. And there are too many corporates, like they support the same associations, are supporters, are sponsors, they use the CSR in the right manner. So I hope that it happens in our country also, because right now we just have one setup, and that is also like self-made setup. And still we just have 3.5 courts. Looking for more where there can be more number of courts and lot more athletes can come and represent the country at the highest level. So I think there is a lot more needs to be done. But I think sitting in the room over here and having so many people from different corporates, and I think I would love that if they can contribute to this, and because there is too much to be done in this field, and it's a lot more, and even the results are too wonderful.
No, definitely. And I think the awareness about para sports is now a little bit higher in India after the Paralympics. So when you met the Prime Minister after Paris Olympics, did you say something to him?
It's always lovely when, when the Prime Minister of your country is over there encouraging you before you're going to the Olympics, after you're coming back. And the best part was he knew about my comeback from bone tumor and all. And he personally asked me about the challenges and all. And he has also talked to my parents before I went for the Tokyo Paralympics. So I think it's always moral boosting and boosting yourself. And it's due to him, a lot of people in our country have got to know about what Paralympics is about. Because, when a PM and the Prime Minister of the country is speaking something, there are a lot of people who listen to them. And too much, the entire country is listening to them. And it's too much spread for the lot of areas and a lot of achievements that our country holds. And especially in para sports.
No, I definitely agree. I think, clearly endorsements at the highest level. We were talking about social media and how you've become a Instagram influencer, if I can use that word, where, lots of parents are reaching out to you, asking advice for their children who may be, diagnosed with a disability. How do you address all of these people? You're becoming an inspiration for them.
I feel very happy because now I think like one thing that I'm working towards my goal, my ambitions. I have one more target is to give back to the society. I don't want like the younger generation coming next, and especially to the girls to face the same which I have faced. Because it's heartbreaking when when people just judge you by your physical appearance, with your physical
You're very
some
pretty.
disability.
So, I'm saying you're very pretty, so don't ever think about it. So.
No, that's something. Thank you for that first. But that's something like people don't look up to that. They look out to some flaws, and कि ऐसा नहीं है, and all sort of things. But I think I always want to give back to the society and to that the lot more things that can be done ahead. And there's so many people who reach us. There are too many athletes who have reached me. Like I also have the same disability, and we want to start up with the para sports professionally. But at one point, Gaurav sir is also stuck because we have very limited number of courts, and if we compromise with the too many number of athletes, it's difficult to then focus on the quality of the training as well. So that's the area where we struggle into, and but otherwise, I think the entire sport is growing, and I wish that a lot of corporates come ahead and support the sports and see and be a part of India winning too much of medals in the coming Paralympics, and LA is there, and even India is thinking for hosting the Paralympics and Olympics. So I think it's time to look for the younger generation, and it's just me giving back to the society, and I think that makes me happier.
Definitely, you're a true ambassador for the sport. Are there any questions from the audience? I know I have a few more questions, but if there's anybody in the audience that would like to ask a question. Can we get a mic here, please?
As you said, there is only one academy that is in Lucknow, Gaurav sir. So would you and people like you, I mean all the people who have got success, will be thinking of opening more academies and, really doing more, because it's just one academy, that's also in Lucknow, and you were lucky enough to reach there, but not many people would be able to reach Lucknow. I mean, people would need support and encouragement. Maybe opening academy could be one of the ways?
Definitely, I think it's a very nice question, and I think this is one of the challenges that Gaurav sir also faces. And because there are a lot of athletes, para-athletes who come from different phases. Not everybody is from a good financial background, and he's the one who gives the free of cost training to all the para-athletes. And so definitely we are looking for the new ventures, but having a badminton hall, it's very costly, and infrastructure which is disabled friendly and have the wooden courts and the mat flooring, the expenditure is too high. So I think it's a lot of funding required for that, and definitely we are looking for a new venture to be there, but I think the support is required. So I think just looking for the right support, and definitely if there would be people across and the corporates enough to support that, definitely soon there can be multiple academies supporting para-athletes, and I think it's a very right manner where the CSRs of the corporates can be used, and for a good faith, and also for particularly for people with disability. And that CSR is not only used for making lives for persons with disability, but also creating laurels for the country as well. So I think that's the main area where we find there is a lot of hurdles to get through the right corporates to help through that. So I think I would love if people over here or anybody who's interested and there to support and there to be a part of the entire journey for para-badminton globally.
Sure. But you are really inspiring, and mesmerize is the right word. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I know we are going to come close to the end of our time, Palak, but this is all about a technology conference, right? And technology is also an enabler for sports. You see the cricketing world today or many other leagues where data, technology is being used more and more for practicing, for analyzing, for building your strategic directions. How do you see that playing a role for para badminton?
I think technology plays a very good role for people with disability. For example, like we have athletes on wheelchair, and they want to go from here to here. They have to drag their wheelchair by their arms, and they're playing the sport as well. So now with the help of technology, there are certain modified wheelchairs that come from abroad who have the motor facility and they're battery operated. So you don't have to use your manpower to drag that wheelchair. You can, self-use it with the help of the motor and the race, and you can drive it and go everywhere. So I think that's how the technology is working. And along with that, it helps in prosthetic use only. And like I want to do something, I want to get a feel of having the arm length same to this. I can use technology in that. But I think there is good work of technology in our country. But I think still this area is more to be covered onto, and so that people get more accessibility, and we talk about technology for getting the country and lives of people better and enhancing their lives. But I think with this, if it gets combined specifically for persons with disability, it gives them the opportunity to feel the same, and to feel the same, like if somebody, like we have athletes who have amputees in their leg and they use that prosthetic leg. Now their prosthetic leg comes which have the battery on, which do not give the entire weight on their area, which is their stump, which we say. So I think it's all around the technology that plays a great role, and specifically for sports for disabled, it's more acting because it also helps to enhance the performance. Now there are a lot of prosthetics which come with blade that help them to increase the jumps and other things. So I think it's a very good area where technology has already played a role, and I think it can be more, with a lot of people having their eye on to more areas and exploring new creativities, how it can help people all across in the world, and I think that's to a next stage level.
So do you go back and look at your old matches and say, I did this wrong, I did this right? Do you use technology for that?
Yes. Now there are so many smartwatches, and there are so many equipments that help for recovery. And for people with disabilities, like if I have a disability in my hand, and I have it one in my ankle also. So I have to take care of my balance of my body. So there are certain, with the help of technology, there are certain exercises where you can, correct your balance posture. You can track your recovery. You can there are so many devices with the help of which we can track how much we have slept, how much our body is recovered, and too much things are there. So I think it definitely plays a very crucial role to a normal person as well, and to a person in a professional career of sports as well.
So who in the badminton world is your vision, right, to compete with that person?
Like one of my favorite athletes and who I look up to is Carolina Marin from Spain. And the time when I had been diagnosed with bone tumor, Carolina Marin has also gone through 3 times her surgery in her knee, and that too playing leaving the Tokyo Olympics, then playing again in the Paris Olympics. She injured herself again, and now again she's recovering. So I think it takes a lot more for an athlete to start everything from scratch and to start all it over when an athlete gets injured. And I really look up to her, and I like the way she rows on the court and the way she carries herself on the court, and all small things I like to admire, and I think she's one of the athletes I look up to.
So what does a 25-year-old Palak look like? I mean, where will you be? Go for gold, of course, is a simple one, but at 25, what's your ambition?
Like I have a lot of short-term goals and long-term goals also, and like I think you talking about me at 25, I think I would love to see myself in LA at the podium, LA 2028, the Paralympics, which will be the 3rd Paralympics for para badminton, and fingers cross, the third one that I will be playing as well, and I definitely look up myself on the top of the podium to hear the national flag and the national anthem over there. And for the short terms there, we have Asian Championships, we have Asian Para Games, we have World Championships which are lined up, or back-to-back tournaments are there, and our ranking tournaments are there. Those are my short terms, but I think 25 I will be there.
So just my last question, Palak, on how do your parents describe all your achievements to their family and friends now?
They're super happy, they're super proud, and they get emotional as well. And I think they also have been a great pillar of support for me throughout my journey, because I was very small when I stepped into Lucknow, and leaving me over there and I staying away 1300 kilometers away from your home. It's difficult for the parents, because a lot of parents like who reach out to sir and all, they have questioned कि हमारी लड़की कैसे रहेगी. You know, we in our country where people talk about कि लड़की है घर से बाहर भेजना difficult है, so it's difficult for a girl with disability to send. And but I am happy that I come from a family where my grandfather has been so supportive, and the entire lockdown I was there in Lucknow, and they were tension free because they knew Gaurav sir is there and they had no tension for me. And so I think it's all about the way we stay over there, like ecosystem of staying like a family, enjoying every festival together, making each other pull their legs. We copy each other's way of walking. We bully each other. So I think that's entire fun that we do, and that what makes us feel the happiest ones. And we never see ourselves, each other like कि अरे इसको ऐसा है. We make fun of that. And we know our limits, and we know, and everybody over there is like just having fun, chilling together. So I think the coming generation and to the other parents also, just be open-minded, and it's important to send your children to a place which is safe and secure. But yes, I think my parents, they cannot thank sir enough, because of him they have sent me there. And they know that anything will happen and he's there as a guardian and to take care of all the athletes. So I think all our athletes were staying from different states, some from Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Pune, Ranchi. All their families are chill because they know where they have sent their awards, and that's the level of trust they have to the academy and they have to the coach. And I think that's very important for an athlete's career also, because there needs to be a very good coordination of the parents and the coach also.
No, phenomenal. I mean, to find people like Gaurav sir who have done so much for the sport and for raising the confidence and helping you realize your potential is recognition of every award that he has got and recognition that he's got. Thank you, Palak, so much for this very, very interesting talk. I think when I was 21, I didn't even have like a quarter of your confidence. So it's just inspirational how at this age, all that you've achieved, despite I would say it's your ability and not a disability. But clearly, we are all here rooting for you. And I think people like you, as they will talk at different platforms, will also create awareness to get more corporates engaged with Paralympics, right? Or para sports, right? Because we clearly need to make sure that we can provide the right support where it's needed. But all our hopes are with you, and we'll all be rooting for you wherever you are, whichever competition you're playing in. Thank you so much, Palak.
Thank you so much.